Welcome back to Natural One, the D&D channel equivalent of using hotel Wi-Fi. Technically functional, but painfully unreliable and not really worth the effort. We're here once again to force iconic pop culture characters into the D&D 5e system, whether it makes sense or not. And today, we're building the Winter Soldier himself, Bucky Barnes. Because nothing says fantasy adventure like a government experiment with a metal arm and enough unresolved trauma to fill a campaign journal. But don't worry, we'll make sure Bucky still gets to punch through walls, tank hits like a barbarian, and struggle with his ever-growing list of bad decisions. So strap in, because this build is about to be armed and dangerous.
Armed and dangerous!
Alright, enough chit chat. Let's get into the numbers and see what makes Bucky Barnes the ultimate super soldier with some serious emotional baggage. Here's the breakdown. We'll start out with a 15 in strength. Bucky's throwing around enemies like they're ragdolls, and that bionic arm, it's like a hydraulic-powered wrecking ball attached to his body. When he hits you, you'll be lucky if you're still standing, let alone breathing. Next up, a 14 in constitution. This guy's been through more torture than most of us could handle in 10 lifetimes, and he's still fighting strong. Whether it's bullets, brainwashing, or getting smashed by a train car, Bucky just keeps going. A solid 13 in intelligence. Bucky's not Einstein, but he's been around the block. He's seen it all on the battlefield and can read a situation faster than you can say Winter Soldier. He's a tactical genius when it counts. A decent 12 in dexterity. He's fast and nimble in combat, using his bionic arm to slam enemies and flip over cars like it's nothing. He's no Spider-Man when it comes to this stat, but Bucky's definitely got that fighter's instinct. A middling 10 in charisma. Bucky's more silent brooding type than life of the party. You won't see him winning any speeches, but when he does talk, you listen. He's all about actions, not words. And those actions, they speak volumes. Finally, an 8 in wisdom. Not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, especially after Hydra messed with his mind. He's got a lot to learn, but hey, you can't always be making good decisions when you're stuck with a brainwashing playlist of activation words like longing and homecoming.
Hey, pick on somebody your own size.
Bucky Barnes is, surprise surprise, a variant human, which is a perfect fit for someone whose past is as turbulent and ever-changing as his. His +1 to strength and intelligence reflects both his physical prowess and his tactical genius. As a variant human, he also gets a feat right out of the gate, fighting initiate. Because, well, who wouldn't want a little extra edge when you're up against the big three? You know, aliens, androids, and wizards. He picks up the unarmed fighting style to capitalize on his raw combat ability, whether it's dishing out devastating punches or surviving close quarters fights when every inch counts. Plus, we grab the soldier background, as Bucky is no stranger to battle, having honed his skills in the unforgivable trenches of war. His proficiency in athletics and intimidation makes him a terrifying figure, whether he's outmaneuvering enemies in physical combat or using his terrifying presence to break the spirits of those who dare challenge him. Plus, he gets access to land vehicles, perfect for any motorcycle chase shenanigans.
How can I? You're taking all this stupid with you.
We're kicking things off with Artificer, because if anyone in the MCU deserves a class that lets you tinker with advanced tech and enhance your own body, it's the guy with a vibranium arm. At first level, we start with magical tinkering, letting Bucky slap minor magical effects onto objects. Great for making a distraction or leaving ominous Winter Soldier calling cards. For cantrips, Lightning Lore lets him replicate his Marvel rival's grab attack, pulling enemies in for a devastating follow-up. Resistance fits thematically, given how hard he is to keep down. First level spells include Long Strider for that enhanced super soldier speed, and Featherfall for those dramatic superhero landings. And of course, we grab Cobbler's tools, because no matter how deadly you are, the true peak of D&D power is making your own boots. At second level, infusions kick in, and we're immediately upgrading Bucky's gear. Prosthetic limb is the obvious choice. It's literally his whole deal, letting him function at full capacity, because who is the Winter Soldier without his arm? Then we grab Repeating Shot, because Bucky's iconic firearm skills need some representation. This ensures his guns, crossbows, never run out of ammo and hit just a little harder. For spells, we pick up Jump, because what's a super soldier without ridiculous mobility? By third level, Bucky specializes into Artillerist, because his vibranium arm is already a built-in weapon. Why not lean into that with an Eldritch Cannon? A handheld flamethrower, a force ballista, or a defensive barrier. Whatever the mission calls for, he's ready. Shield gives him a crucial defensive boost, making him harder to hit in combat, and Thunder Wave lets him unleash a Shockwave level attack when things get messy. Plus, the right tool for the job means he can always have the perfect set of tools on hand, whether it's for espionage, sabotage, or just hotwiring a getaway vehicle. Alright, Buggy's had enough of being a finely tuned weapon. Let's break some things. Enter Barbarian. With Rage, Buggy taps into that Winter Soldier side of himself, gaining advantage on strength checks and saving throws. He hits harder than your average super soldier, and when you're rolling with that vibranium arm, things get messy fast. Unarmored defense keeps him light on his feet too. He doesn't need armor when he's this dangerous. He's got the reflexes to dodge blows and the grit to take them. At Barbarian level 2, Bucky's just begging for a fight. Danger Sense gives him a Spidey Sense level of awareness, letting him dodge out of the way of traps, spells, or just about anything that comes at him. Then comes Reckless Attack. You know Bucky's got that first strike, no holds barred mentality. Sure, it means enemies can hit him harder, but when you've got a vibranium arm that could send them flying into next week, who's going to complain about a few more hits? At level 6, he takes on the Totem Warrior path, picking Eagle for that superior speed and agility. While he's raging, Bucky's got disadvantage on opportunity attacks against him. Good luck trying to pin him down when he's moving faster than a bullet. The dash is a bonus action? Yes please. And don't forget his Beast Sense. Sure, it's not quite Squirrel Girl status, but Bucky's got a deep connection with the natural world now. Plus, with Primal Knowledge, aka Survival Instincts, he's tracking down targets like a true hunter, whether in the concrete jungle or the wilderness. Alright, Bucky's getting a little more super soldiery now. At Barbarian level 4, it's time for an ability score improvement. And what does our guy need? More strength, of course. Plus 2 to strength means he's even more of a wrecking ball, tossing enemies around like they're just weights on the bench press. You thought the vibranium arm was powerful before? Now it's even harder to avoid getting knocked into next week. Level 8, which means 5 levels of Barbarian, and this kicks things into high gear with fast movement. Bucky's already running circles around everyone, but now he's even faster. Not only is he dodging bullets, but he's closing the gap on enemies before they even realize he's there. And if Bucky wasn't already throwing punches like a freight train, extra attack means he's laying into foes twice as often now. Why hit once when you can punch again? At level 9, Barbarian level 6, Bucky unlocks Aspect of the Beast and chooses the Wolf to enhance his tracking and stealth abilities. Now, when he's on the hunt, he can track creatures while traveling at a fast pace, ensuring nothing can hide from his pursuit. Plus, he gains the ability to move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace, perfect for when he needs to get the drop on enemies or lead a covert mission without being seen.
He gave you that shield and you threw it away like it was nothing. So maybe he was wrong about you, and if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me.
At level 10, Bucky switches back to Artificer. He's been picking up tricks, and now he's refining his craft. He boosts his dexterity because he's got the reflexes of a seasoned fighter, and that arm of his isn't the only thing that makes him a whirlwind of destruction. False Life gives him a bit of cushion when the bullets start flying, a little extra oomph to stay in the fight longer. At level 11, Arcane Firearm gives Bucky a new weapon to play with. It's like he's got a grenade launcher, but even better. Adding a touch of arcane power to his tools makes Bucky a walking, talking war machine. No, not him, I was just talking about it metaphorically. Regardless, we also grab Thunder Wave and Scorching Ray to give him some grenades or high impact shots. At level 12, Bucky's tool expertise makes him even better at what he does best, taking his gadgets and making them lethal. Whether it's tinkering with his gear in the middle of a firefight or cracking open something useful, he's got the skills to make it happen. He can even patch himself up with Cure Wounds, because even a Winter Soldier needs a little R&R. Plus, he completes his iconic look with the Goggles of Night, to ensure he's always ready for the dark of night. At level 13, Bucky's battlefield smarts shine through with Flash of Genius. Think of it as that split-second brilliance you'd expect from someone who's dodged Hydra's worst and come out on top. When an ally, or even Bucky himself, is about to fail a crucial check, he can add his intelligence modifier as a reaction, turning a near disaster into another notch of his war-torn record. At level 14, Bucky gets a +2 to dexterity. Now, his reflexes are even sharper. Maybe now he's quick enough to react to a shield being hurled straight at his face by his best friend. Also, he can shoot more accurately now, which is a useful trait to have. To top it off, he picks up Aid, providing a little extra resilience in the heat of combat. Because even the most hardened super soldier sometimes needs backup to keep fighting. With Artificer level 9, Bucky's firepower finally starts reaching Russian secret operative levels. With added spells like Fireball and his newly acquired explosive cannon, all he has to do is toss his Eldritch Cannon and he's got a mobile device that'll flip cars and send bad guys flying. Reaching level 16, Bucky fine-tunes his tech edge. He picks up the message cantrip, crisp covert comms with the Thunderbolts, ensuring his team stays in sync even in the thick of battle. Grease comes next, turning enemy terrain into a slip-and-slide obstacle course. And finally, Gloves of Missile Snaring is the upgrade we've all been waiting for. Now we can actually catch that flying shield. Or shield taped to a hammer. If you saw our Captain America video, you know what's up. Level 17 brings spell storing item to Bucky's arsenal. After a long rest, he can infuse a weapon or spell casting focus with a first or second level spell, perfect for rigging up a Thunderwave grenade when things heat up. This means his gear isn't just for show, it's loaded with a surprise blast, ready to turn the tide of combat at a moment's notice. At level 18, Bucky gets a +2 to dexterity, making his already lightning quick reflexes even sharper. And to round it all off, he picks up Pyrotechnics, a spell that lets him conjure a cloud of smoke and dazzling light, perfect for a tactical exit or a dramatic entrance. At level 19, Bucky's arsenal takes a chilly and fiery twist with 2 new spells, Ice Storm and Wall of Fire. Sure, they might not scream super soldier at first glance, but, hold up, I can think of something here. Ice Storm is fitting because he was trapped in Russia. Okay, and Wall of Fire is his way of dumping a barrel of fuel on enemies who think they can take him down. Okay, I think that covers me there. Wow, flavoring builds is difficult, huh? Who would voluntarily choose to do this for nothing? If only there were a way for you to show appreciation for all the hard work I do. At level 20, Bucky reaches his ultimate upgrade. His infusion now replaces his standard prosthetic arm with an arcane propulsion arm, a true Wakandan style upgrade that makes his signature grab even deadlier. Coupled with an amulet of health boosting his constitution to 19, and he's as tough as they come. And finally, we grab haste. I love haste. I mean, it would be fitting for the character. Yeah, that should do it. For more reasons.
I'm with you to the end of the line, pal.
Bucky Barnes might not have the flashy bravado of a Broadway hero, but when the Winter Soldier hits the battlefield, he's a one-man wrecking crew built to outlast, outmaneuver, and obliterate his foes. He is super durable. With an 18 armor class and 195 hit points, which are effectively doubled when raging, Bucky's built like a fortress. Add in spells like Cure Wounds, Aid, False Life, plus the extra AC boost from Haste and Shield, and he practically refuses to go down, even when the bullets are flying. He's also mobile. Thanks to Haste, Longstrider, Jump, Fast Movement, and bonus action dashes, Bucky moves like a seasoned hitman. He's fast enough to close gaps before his enemies even know he's there, and his ability to move stealthily at a normal pace means he's rarely caught off guard. Don't forget he's armed and dangerous. Whether he's launching elemental grenades, firing off a repeating shot from a distance, bashing foes with his unarmed fighting style, or using his propulsion to smack someone from 60 feet away, Bucky adapts to every fight. And with his bonus action Eldritch Cannon, he's essentially a mobile artillery unit. And he's in the best shape of his life. His near-perfect physical stats make it seem like he was engineered for combat. Every muscle, every reflex, it's honed to peak efficiency. Exactly what you'd expect from a super soldier forged in the fires of war. Still, even the most relentless super soldier isn't without his Achilles heel. Let's break that down too. He's mentally vulnerable. For all of his physical prowess, Bucky's mental stats leave a lot to be desired. Get the right command words in his head, and his decision making can go haywire. Hardly ideal when you're a living weapon. He's got an internal conflict as well. When Bucky is in full berserk mode, he can't cast spells like Haste. That means he's forced to choose between raw, rage-fueled power and tactical speed, a costly trade-off in the middle of battle.
Again!
You ever come home from a long day of recording videos, just wanting to kick back on your couch and play your comfort game? You know, the one filled with Marvel heroes where sometimes you even try to support your team and do some good? You're finally in that sweet spot, laying low in the back line, when that goddamn line slams into your eardrums.
Armed and dangerous!
And of course, Bucky's ult goes off.
Again!
Every single time. As if that wasn't enough, there's that idiotic Adam Warlock on your team, who, for some inexplicable reason, always brings you back just when you think you finally escaped the madness. It's enough to make me even want to tear my hair out if I have to hear him shout,
Again!
one more time. I swear I'm done for good. That wraps up our build for the Winter Soldier. If you liked watching us turn Bucky into a grenade-launching, shield-snatching menace, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We put out new videos every week, so you won't want to miss what's next. Got a character you want to see us build? Drop it in the comments, or just say hi. And if you want this build and every other build we've made, they're all free on our Patreon. So until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Armed and dangerous! Again! Again!